Everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about how much does it cost to study abroad in different countries for your masters. So by the end of this video you'll most likely get an idea of which country falls under your budget, whether you can get any scholarships or not, or if you are aiming for like very high university, then how much that will cost you. Otherwise, I'm also going to talk about the normal universities as well, and you don't have to spend over 80 lakhs or over 1 crore. So let's get started. So first of all, let's talk about Australia, that how much it will cost you to do a master's in Australia. There are a few things that you have to know before you plan to study into Australia. One of them is that if you are looking for a stay back option, your master's has to be of 2 years. There are a lot of universities that offer 1 year of masters, but then that's not going to lead you anywhere, or it's not going to give you a stay back option. So it's better to go for a 2 years of masters. And if you consider good universities, like not the group of 8 universities, the group of 8 universities are those that are ranked in the top 100 in the world. That's why they have been named as a group of 8 universities, and they are a bit expensive compared to the other universities. So if you target like decent universities like La Trobe, Swinburne, QUT, Griffith University, Macquarie University, and also I'm talking about those universities. So doing a master's from these universities will normally cost you somewhere around 15 to 18 lakhs for 1 year of masters. So total it will come to about 35 to 40 lakhs for your masters. The living expenses separate, and for living expense the amount is about $29,000. So doing a masters from Australia will cost you somewhere around 55 to 60 lakhs. But the good thing is that you will get 3 years of stay back option, so that you can get the return on your investment. And also you get an opportunity to apply for permanent residency as well, depending upon what you are studying. For the visa, you don't have to show the entire 50 to 60 lakhs of amount. You are just required to pay the first semester of tuition fees, or some universities also say that you can just pay the deposit, which is about $8,000 to $10,000. But what happens is that if you're not paying the first semester tuition fee, you are just paying $10,000 for example, then the remaining let's say $8,000. So the remaining first semester of tuition fee plus 1 year of tuition fees you will have to show, along with the living expenses and $2,000 for your travel as well. So roughly the amount you will have to show is somewhere around 35 to 40 lakhs rupees in your bank account. It has to be either savings or fixed deposits, or you can take an education loan, and it has to be an education loan only. Either it can be non-collateral, or you can take collateral as well, but you have to mortgage property only. Education loan taken against gold, that will not be accepted. So make sure that you have one or the other property to mortgage, or you can go for the non-collateral loan. But usually the interest rate is a bit higher in non-collateral loan because you don't have to mortgage anything compared to collateral loan. And if you are aiming for group of 8 universities, so their fees would be somewhere around 40 to 50 lakhs for 2 years of masters. So your expense can go up till 70 to 75 lakhs for the entire duration. Now talking about United States, how much it will cost you to do your masters from USA, and how much funds do you have to show, through what all means you can show. So let me tell you, if you are targeting the normal range of universities, then it can cost you somewhere around 40 to 50 lakhs for your masters. But if you are aiming for the top 30 or maybe top 40 universities, it can cost you up to 70 to 80 lakhs for your masters. And the funds you have to show is somewhere around $40,000 to $50,000 for the normal universities. And the funding requirement is the same, that you have to show 1 year of tuition fees with 1 year of living expenses. So the living expense in USA will differ, because your university will give you that how much will be your living expenses, because they include everything, like from your insurance to book and supplies to accommodation to food, meal, everything. And so yeah, you'll have to pick one university, see what's their tuition fees. You'll have to show 1 year of tuition fees, 1 year of living expense, and again $2,000 to $3,000 for your travel. So that much amount you'll have to show. For USA, how you can show the funds are either through your education loan, or you can show through your savings as well. Only these two mode of funds are accepted. And in savings, sorry, the one thing I forgot to mention about Australia is that if you are showing the funds in the savings or the fixed deposits, in savings the funds has to be at least 3 months old, and if you are showing it in fixed deposit, the funds has to be 6 months old. You also need to have sources from where did you get the money. And for USA, it's completely opposite. You don't need to show the sources or anything. You don't need to maintain funds in your account. You can just deposit the fund in your account and get the balance certificate the next day, and you can withdraw the amount again. So there is no need to keep funds for a longer period of time in your account. You just need to show the amount in your account just twice. One is when you are applying for the I-20, and the second one is when you are applying for the visa. Now let's talk about UK. How much do you need to show the funds and how much it will cost you? So for a normal university in UK, since they have only 1 year of masters, the fees can range from 15 lakhs to 35 lakhs for 1 year of masters. But if you are aiming for London Business School, University of Oxford, Cambridge University, then it can go up till 70 to 75 lakhs as well. But doing an MBA from London Business School can cost you somewhere around 1 crore as well. But here we are talking about the normal university. So let's take that if your university's tuition fees is about 25 lakhs, then you will have to show 1 year of tuition fees because the course duration is just 1 year. Of course, when you are accepting the offer letter, you will have to pay certain amount. So here, let's say that you are paying £5,000. So you will then have to show £20,000 plus the living expenses plus £2,000 for your travel as well. Now in terms of living expenses for UK, what happens is that they have given two amounts. One is if you are planning to go to a university which is in UK, specifically in London, then the cost would be different, living expense would be different. But if you are going to out of London, then the cost would be different. So the living expense for inside London would be somewhere around 12 to 14,000 pounds, and for outside of London it would be somewhere around 9 to 11,000 pounds. So you will have to show that funds as well. So roughly around you'll have to show 35,000 pounds, which comes to about 35 lakhs, and it has to be in your savings account or in your parents' account as well. It is fine, or you can take an education loan. But if you are showing it in the savings account, then the funds has to be 28 days old. Remember, UK immigration is very strict about their requirements. If the funds are not 28 days old, they will refuse your application. So the best thing to do is when your funds are 29 days old, then and only you go ahead and submit the online UK student visa application. Before that, you don't submit it, because a lot of times what happens is students get confused that the 28 days has to be when they go to the VFS office to submit their documents. But no, when you are applying online, when you are about to submit your online visa application, your funds has to be 28 days old. So that's why whatever the process you do for taking the appointment, for submitting the visa application online, you make sure that it has been at least 28 days, or do it on 29th day. That is also fine. Otherwise, your visa will get 100% refused. Okay, now let's talk about Canada. We all know that last year on 8th November 2024, Canada has closed the SDS program, through which a lot of students were able to get the student visa of Canada very easily, but they have closed last year. So each and every Indian student has to apply in the non-SDS category only. The difference was that in SDS you didn't have to show that much amount of funds, wherein in non-SDS you had to show all the amount in your account itself. The GIC is still there, that whatever your living expenses, I think it is somewhere around $20,000 right now. So that's the amount you have to transfer it into your Canadian bank account, that is GIC, towards your living expenses. So that option is still available for you even if you are applying in the non-SDS program. Your living expense will be transferred into GIC account, and for your tuition fees you will have to show it in your bank account itself after paying the first semester tuition fees. And if you are going to the colleges, then the colleges offer post-graduation diploma. They don't really offer a master's program. That can cost you from 11 lakhs to 22 lakhs for the entire course, wherein if you are aiming for universities like University of Ryerson, University of Prague, or York University, those universities can cost you from 20 lakhs to 40 lakhs for the entire master's program. Not all the universities offer 2 years of masters, so their masters duration would be from 12 months to 16 months to 24 months, depending upon what course or what subject area are you planning to study. So in total, if you are planning to go to Canadian colleges, it can cost you about 25 lakhs. But if you are planning to go to a university in Canada, it can cost you somewhere around 40 to 45 lakhs. Now let's talk about Ireland, because it's an upcoming destination. A lot of students prefer to go to Ireland because the job market is pretty decent. It's not like UK right now. So a lot of students wanting to go there. So let me just tell you quickly about how much it can cost you to do a master's in the Ireland. Majority of their courses, their fee structure is somewhere around 22 to 25,000 euros. Even in the top universities like University of College Dublin or Trinity College Dublin, TCD or UCD, the max tuition fees is this much. But unless you are going for a course which is very much in demand, like MBA program, then it can cost you about 33 to 35,000 euros as well. Now the Ireland universities are very generous in terms of giving the scholarships. Two of my students received 8,000 euros of scholarship, so their tuition fees was 22,000 euros and it just directly came towards 14,000 euros. So they just had to show 14 lakhs plus 10 lakhs of living expenses, so just 24 lakhs. And in Ireland, their master's programs are also of maximum 1 year. So if you are under the tight budget and you are looking for a country which has a good job opportunities, then Ireland is the one, if not the UK. And you can actually get a degree from UCD and TCD, which are the top two universities of Ireland, and with a very less cost as well. And in case if your course is lesser than the 1 year, then you have to show 6,665 euros towards your living expenses. But if your course is more than a year or at least of 12 months, then you have to show 10,000 euros towards your living expenses. Now let's talk about New Zealand. How much does it cost to study in New Zealand? New Zealand also has a master's degree from 12 months to 24 months, and again follows the same requirements like Australia, that if you need the stay back option, your course has to be of 2 years. New Zealand's fund requirements is very strict and it's very high. So if your master's program is of 2 years and it's going to cost you about 50 lakhs, then you have to show 50 lakhs plus the living expenses as well. So you'll have to show about 70 to 75 lakhs for the entire duration. That's why not a lot of students prefer to go to New Zealand, because very few people have this much amount of money into their savings account or a fixed deposit account. But the best thing about New Zealand is that you only have to pay the fees once you get an in principle approval from the New Zealand embassy. So you don't really have to pay your entire tuition fees or a first semester of tuition fees before you get your visa approval. That is in principle, not exactly the visa approval kind of thing, but you get a conditional approval from the embassy, and then you can go ahead and make the fees payment. And the acceptable funds are savings, FD and an education loan. Again, it follows the very much same process as Australia. So that's about it, guys. This is how much it's going to cost you to study a master's degree in each country. Now you have the numbers that can help you determine whether which country is under your budget. And but what I highly recommend is that even if it is not under your budget and your profile is very good, apply to multiple countries and see that who is giving you the best offer letter with scholarship and all. And probably, if you think that US is out of your budget, but then you get good scholarship or a financial aid, then it can get under your budget. So don't miss this opportunity. I know a lot of agents will tell you that, just apply to these particular set of universities for one country and all. But no, be open, tell them that you want to apply to many universities. In case if you need my help in the entire application process or the visa process and stuff, then I only take 20 students every year for the study abroad process. You can check out my website. I have mentioned the link in the caption. And in case if you need to discuss with me before going ahead for the full package, you can let me know in the comments and I can schedule a 10 minutes of call with you, so that whatever questions you have, you can ask me about the package. Alright, let me know if you got any questions. Please ask them in the comment section below, and let me know what content do you want me to make next. Until next time. Bye.